like I can make it. I just don't know if my body can make it. I just don't know what my injuries were. I thought it was my pelvis that was broken. So I was like, all right. So while this is going on, ironically, there's a patient in San Carlos, which is to the east of Globe. Bariatric patient, 600 plus pounds, that they're familiar with. So they have a pre-plan if he needs medical care. So what they do is they contact Davis Monthan in Tucson, and they fly up a Blackhawk, 2 Blackhawks, because they always travel in pairs. So while this was going on, they had picked him up and were flying along our flight path and heard the radio chatter and in the air, 2 Blackhawks just full of PJs, happened to be along that flight path that night, that time. It's pretty amazing, million to one. So I remember Mario was telling me that they were standing there with me, and then all of a sudden there's a Black Hawk above, and some dudes come flying down on a rope. Yeah. And notice that Mario's choice of footwear was not a bad idea that night. So I think yeah. So I remember joking with you about that. But I remember very little about the rescue itself. I remember hearing a chainsaw, or they're clearing brush out of the area, like trying to make like a kind of mini LZ from what I've been told. And I remember like the sensation of like someone picking me up, like that dangling sensation, and they put me in the Stokes litter and winched me up. And then they winched up Brooke and Mario. And from what Mario told me is that when they brought Brooke up, they were, like gently placing her and like petting her. And Mario, it was like, pair of boots, they just threw in the bags. So, but I remember waking up on the Black Hawk and looking around, and, I remember Brooke was rubbing my head. I remember the first thing I asked her was, am I alive? She said, yeah, you're alive. We've got a 20-minute ETA to county, where I work now. So, and I remember just like the relief of, first I was like, I can't believe I'm still alive. I can't believe I have a chance to make it home. Just unbelievable. So that's the 305th. That's the 55th Rescue Squadron. This is actually them doing some training out in the, basically looked about what happened that night. So my injuries. So yeah, so my helmet, which I wore all the time. I had some real heavy bruises. They thought there was a hangman's fracture, but it ended up being just fine. But it was my left scapula, the 5 ribs on my right side, which was when apparently our whole center console where the pumps are got shoved into me and broke my ribs. So I never really liked those pumps very much to begin with. So they alarmed. They're probably still out there alarming. So. And then the fuel. I had 2nd-degree burns from the fuel. They've all healed really well. And then the laceration on my calf, my ankle, and then the worst of it being my femurs. So yeah, it looks like mascara, but it's not mascara. So all in all, it was it was a long road, There's my left leg. I jokingly call it my shark bite. It looks like a shark bit me. Fun fact, the surgeon who repaired it, Dr. Lettieri at County, his nickname is Great White. So this is just meant to be. So I guess he's always lurking around looking for people. But it's healed really well too. I didn't know I was bleeding until I could see where I dragged myself through the snow. There was blood trailing me. So I was like, oh great, where's this coming from? But it healed really well. It's been good. So the psychological parts, it's peaks and valleys. You have good days, you have bad days. Good days, you have bad days. All my days are great. Sometimes you get these bad moments during your great days. I remember just like, did that really happen? You know, just disbelief. You know, I remember waiting for Chad and Schneider to show up at the hospital room, you know, just couldn't believe it. You know, flashbacks, that's a real thing. You know, you get caught in that frequency, those memories, and you blink your eyes and 15 minutes have gone by, and, you know, those are real things, you know, it's just coping, you know. But I will say the one thing that saved my life, other than keeping my harness tight, was just being positive, just having faith in your friends that they're going to find you, and just, you know, having faith in everything, you know, you're going to make it. Like, you have to tell yourself that I'm going to survive this, you know, or die trying. So I remember telling myself that, and I was just like, fuck this mountain, man. I was like, you know, I just want to go home, see my family. You know, so if you can remember that, you know, like I said, all I did was really sit there, you know. I tried calling 911, I tried all that, I tried everything. No, it was nothing. So just a fun fact, this is more for the flight peeps, and anyone just in general, you know. Throw a kit in your car, you know, to be survived. It helps me psychologically. I like just to be prepared. And, you know, I tell them the 3 C's. If you have something for cutting, you know, for comfort, you know, and for communicating, really, it's a big motivation for if things do go bad. So, saw this on Amazon, thought it was cool. So, the matches I wouldn't have recommended that night. So, that survival blanket, oh my God, I only wish, man, you know. And strobes, like something they can see you, like, so the ELT, the emergency location transmitter, which is designed to go off when an aircraft impacts, what I thought was going on, and I even told Chad, I was like, dude, the ELT's got to be going off, man. They'll find us in no time. Actually, had malfunctioned, and the final report just came out, I think about a week ago. So if you're curious, just Google Native 5 crash, you know, NTSB, and there was some malfunctioned parts in it, so it was never activated. So, you know, we weren't on the radar. The ELT wasn't going on. You know, it was pretty bleak for a little bit there. This is a book I had read maybe like a couple weeks before the crash called No Easy Day. Some of you may have read it. It's about a Navy SEAL who was on the Bin Laden raid. And in the book, he talks about, you know, you got to stay in your 3-foot world. You know, when things are hard, you can only control what's in front of you. And if I can teach you one thing, like psychologically, if you can just stay in your 3-foot world and just focus on what you can physically take care of in front of you, it really helps you focus on that. It kind of blocks out the surrounding, you know, external stresses we all deal with. So I remember that was my mantra on the mountain. It was just, I'll stay in my 3-foot world, dude. Just keep breathing. You know, fun fact, I may have had a couple beers in me one night and, you know, surfing the internet, and I went to the website, and, you know, of course there's always like a link to the author or whatever. Just saying, hey man, this is my story. I just want to say this little phrase you wrote in your book probably saved my life. It still does to this day. Well, lo and behold, the guy called me. You know, this SEAL Team 6 guy. His name, Matt Bissonette is his name. You know, this guy was, you know, naming the pages of history. You know, chatting up with me on the phone. You know, just like one of the regular guys. You know, great guy. You know, and he was really touched because they had lost a whole platoon of SEALs in a helicopter crash in Afghanistan. So he was really, you know, moved by that. So just a fun fact. I think above everything else, just thank you to everyone, you know, through helping me. The psychological stuff, you know, in our job, you know, fire, PD, military, you know, pre-hospital, hospital, you know, we're all tough. Like, it's a hard job, you know. But you got to remember to take care of yourself, you know, inside too. You know, you can be storing away memories and all that, but when things start coming out, you know, don't be afraid to ask for help. You know, ask for help, talk to your friends. You know, all these wonderful mental health counselors, you know, they'll save your life. You know, to this day, I still go see counselors. So, you know, it's worth it. You know, don't be shy. We're all human. And just, you guys stay in your 3-foot world and be safe, be prepared. and you guys can survive just about anything. All right. So thank you very much for all your prayers, everyone who ever said nice things to me, and thanks for everything that you do every day.